Okay, grade 9s, welcome to our third video in the video series about factorization. Fittingly enough, the third video is on trinomials. So I've put down an example trinomial over here. So how this will work, you'll have a variable squared, x squared, plus a variable to the power of 1, plus a constant. So those are the trinomials we're going to factorize, and we're going to break them down into two binomials. So how we do that is a little complicated. It's not too bad, but what we do is we need to find the factor pairs of 8 that when they add together give you 6. Okay, so what I mean by that is step 1, we need to find the factor pairs of 8. So by factor pairs I mean 1, 8. So because 1 times 8 gives you 8. 2, 4. 2 times 4 gives you 8. Okay, so for 8, those are the only two factor pairs. Now we need to figure out, I need to put a plus sign or a minus sign here in order to get to 6. Okay, so 1 and 8. There's no way to add and subtract 1 and 8 in order to get 6. So we know it's not this one. Okay. So how do I go, so let's look at the next line. How do I go from 2 and 4 to get 6? Okay, I say plus 2 plus 4, right? Now, step 2 is I need my brackets, all right? In the front of my brackets, I'll have the variable, so x, okay? If it was y squared plus 6y plus 8, obviously I'd put y and then y. Okay, because when this thing multiplies, when you multiply it, you get x squared. So that's how I get my first term. Now you'll see I've managed to figure out, 6 is plus 2 plus 4. So the plus 2 will go there, and the plus 4 will go there. It doesn't matter which order it's in. It really doesn't. The plus 4 can go in the first bracket, and the plus 2 can go in the second bracket. So step 3... the answer is x plus 2, x plus 4. Okay, and you'll see if I multiply this out, x times x gives you x squared. X times 4 gives you 4x. Okay, 2 times x gives you 2x. And then 2 times 4, the last two numbers multiplied together give you positive 8, like that. And then like terms, 4x plus 2x is 6x, so x squared 6x plus 8. Okay, so you see I've got back to what I started with. That's how I know my answer is right. Okay, so that's the final answer. I was just checking that it was correct. Okay. Now, it can get a little bit more complicated than this. First of all, you'll note that when we usually do this sort of stuff, we usually have there's no coefficient in front of the x squared, so it's usually just 1, right? In some cases you might land up with 3x squared plus, let's say, 6x plus 3, right? In this case, what you need to do first is take out the HCF. So it's always, whenever you factorize anything, the first thing you always look for is like, can I take an HCF out? So the HCF here is 3, because 3 is the biggest thing that goes into all three of those terms. So I need my HCF, which is 3. Alright, the 3 goes outside the brackets. 3x squared divided by 3 is just x squared. 6x divided by 3 is 2x. And then 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, now I have a trinomial that I can factorize over there. Right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my two brackets, and the factor pairs of 1, it's only 1 and 1, because 1 times 1 gives you 1. And then in order to get 2, I need to say plus 1, plus 1. Okay, so I put the x in front of the brackets. The 1 plus 1 will go there, the other plus 1 will go there. And then just in this case, because the two brackets are the same, saying x plus 1 times x plus 1, there's a shorter way of writing it. That equals 3x plus 1 squared, because there's 2x plus 1 brackets. Technically speaking, this is right, but this is the simplified version, okay? So it's very easy when you have 1 at the end, because, I mean, the only factors of 1 is, well, 1 and 1. Okay, moving on to another question. Let's say x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, now this doesn't look that difficult, but it's actually a bit of a trick one. So the first thing you do is you're going to write out factor pairs of 6. So you're going to write 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Alright, now we need to figure out which one can get us 5. Now this is where the tricky part comes in, because you can get positive 5 by saying 2 plus 3, right? Or you can get positive 5 by saying negative 1 plus 6. So both of these work, but we don't have 4 brackets, we only have 2. So how do I decide which one is correct? Well, remember what I was saying when we were multiplying out, how when you multiplied the two things at the end, they are what gave you the constant at the end. Well, if you see here, we have negative 6, okay? So what needs to happen is when we put this thing down in the brackets, right, it needs to give us negative 6 at the end, all right? But if you multiply positive 2 by positive 3, what do you get? Well, you get positive 6. So if I had to take this and multiply it out, I would get that, all right? Which is wrong. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. You see, negative 1 times 6 is what's going to give me that negative 6. So this one is incorrect. It's actually that one that I need to use. Okay, so let's cross that out. So the negative 1 goes in this bracket, and the 6 goes in the second bracket. And there we go. I have my factorization. Let me know if you have any issues. Just send me an email. This is probably the hardest form of factorization, so it is going to require a bit of work, but it's not impossible. Okay, cool, guys. See you for the next one.